Well, hi there. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Daniel Levinson. You might remember me from all sorts of different sports related YouTube channels and projects and blogs and stuff like that. Probably most notable is the Baseball Replay Journal, which is the one that I spend most of my time on. I've told people that I'm going to start a hockey channel one of these days, and we've decided to do it. It's just me. I've started it today, and this is going to be the first video for it. So we're going to do this a little bit differently than the other channels. For most of the other ones, I had in the beginning usually a combination of either like gameplay of some sort or some sort of like a scripted video, something like that. This time around, I'm going to have the first scripted video coming out probably this Saturday if all goes well. But I do need some gameplay beforehand to get some stuff for the video. So as I've been doing with my other channels, I'm going to record some gameplay of me giving like some commentary on the game. So you can watch this and sort of check it out and sort of see how you like it. And of course, we're going to start off with what else? With the NHL series by EA on the Sega Genesis. So we'll go ahead and just jump straight into that. And so here it is in all of its emulation glory. Now, so you know, at the beginning here, I do need to make sure that the remap file is loaded here for this controller. I have one of these 8-bit DOE Sega Genesis style controllers, the M30, which unfortunately doesn't load like automatically when you're trying to get this to work right. So I don't know. There's some glitch or something like that in RetroArch. I don't know. I'm not really going to worry too much about it. I'm going to turn penalties on, and I'm thinking of probably also turning line changes on when we play the game this time. I will let you know that I did play this game once before. I've played games in the NHL series. I mean, I think everybody's played NHL 94. This is the very, very first one, right? And so, you know, we're going to sort of see what it's like and sort of see what our feeling is about this. Now, just so you know, this is not the only game that I'm going to end up playing like this week. Maybe even today. It sort of depends upon what happens. For this first video, I'm going to need a little bit of footage, not just from this game, but from other games as well that are hockey games, including games for the old Nintendo Entertainment System. Anyway, it's going to be a little challenging, I think, to... I have to get used to the feel of this game first. This game is really, really beloved. This whole series is, and I can tell as soon as I forgot to put line changes on. I'm going to have to get used to that as well. You can change lines in situations like that. And they're being called for the penalty? That's a little bit odd. You can't do those one-timer passes, unfortunately. That's the real cool part about NHL 94, where you get in a situation like that and you just sort of like... no, it wasn't. It was onside. That's what they were saying. In NHL 94, you get in a situation like that, you can pass it towards the center and you'll be just fine. You can do all sorts of one-time passes and all sorts of great goals that come from that. This game is so much more advanced than every other hockey game that came before it that it's actually pretty remarkable. And that's one of the things I want to look into with this video, which is one of the reasons why we're going to be playing. So over the next couple of days, we're going to play some, you know, like Nintendo Ice Hockey. We'll play Blades of Steel. We'll play, you know, whatever else it is I can remember that we had back in the good old days. We're peppering the goal with shots and we can't get anything to go through. Anyway, apologies if I don't play all that well. I haven't spent a lot of time recently playing these games. I've been playing a lot of Tecmo Super Bowl instead, which is another story. One of the videos I really want to do is I want to talk about NHL 94 in an early video, probably when we get to that, and whether it actually is or is not one of the best games of all time. I think that we need a line change. I actually was just reading... There you go. Alright, so we made our line change after scoring, so we did finally get a goal. Anyway, so I was reading into this and sort of reading about, you know, the history of hockey games and stuff. Nobody seems to know when the Mario Lemieux hockey came out on the Genesis, but it seems to me that that game actually came out after this one. So I found an issue of GamePro from August 1991, which is allegedly when this game came out. It's got a big advertisement for it near the front. Geez, we got to get back and get icing. Okay, that's a little bit better. Anyway, so that issue of GamePro has a oh come on, that was perfectly legal. Yeah, roughing, whatever. Oh, so right then it has you choose your line, because it says in the manual that you push the A button to change lines, but I think that that's not actually accurate. Yeah, that's not much of a one-timer, is it? Anyway, so in this issue of GamePro, there is a rumor of the Mario Lemieux hockey game coming out. This is back when Sega was coming out with all sorts of games featuring the names of celebrities. And so it seems that this actually is the first hockey game on the Sega Genesis. It's a little bit slow. It's definitely slower than NHL 94, but the gameplay is very, very similar. It's that game engine that so many fans of the franchise know and love so much. I had that one just taken away from me. It's actually a little bit easier to play than NHL 94 because it's a little bit slower. And it's got those great, you know, sounds and all that stuff. It makes it sound like you're playing Doom. This was a couple of years before Doom, actually. There is a way, too, to skate fast when you're on defense. See, there they are dumping it in and making a line change. That's probably what the A button actually does. I think it's to dump the puck in and make a change. I thought as soon as we touched it, they would call the penalty. We've touched it twice now, and they still haven't called it. So much for that. Well, so the period runs out instead. So do we still call the penalty? Yes, we do. Okay, at the end of the period, they call it. So, all right, that makes a little bit of sense. So the idea behind these videos, so you know, is that I'm doing this mostly to get the B-roll for the video that I want to make, or for whatever it is that we have going on. And so I'm not really focusing necessarily so much on making like a video that's going to change the world or anything like that. The whole purpose of the video, the whole focus of everything is just to get that B-roll and to have something that I can put up on this channel, especially since I just started it. Eventually, if this channel gets to that point, we can use, what was that? Eventually, if this channel gets to that point, we can start using the B-roll probably as an incentive for channel members. That's what I'm doing in most of my other channels, for people who want to, you know, help support the channel a little bit financially. You can get access to all sorts of videos like this, but because, you know, this has just started, we don't have any of those options, I'm just going to go for this as it is. Tried to sink that one, it didn't really work. Oh, come on. Maybe I should have had penalties off, huh? How is that hooking? That couldn't be hooking. You called me because I ran into him, you know, straight out. It was like the truck that just, you know, hit you. Anyway, it's trying to tell me at the bottom that I can change lines if I want. I'm gonna have to do probably a little bit more research into the line change system. And what I don't understand is why the North Stars keep moving the puck out of the offensive zone like that. That's so strange to me. So there are some issues with the AI in this game, obviously. But having said that, as I said before, this is obviously the most advanced hockey game to date when this came out. I mean, this really, really was a game changer. It's going to take me a while to look it up to see what the reaction was from the gaming journalism public and all that stuff. But there's a reason why this series was so beloved. The other question is, can we get into a fight? That's the other thing we're going to try. You know, but we can get called for all sorts of penalties. Charging. Yeah, that's a little bit more like it. So the way to get called for penalties, if that's what you want to do, which is clearly what I want to do, is you push the C button. It's the C button that gets you in trouble. The B button is what will change players, and A does whatever A does. Yeah, A makes it so you can change lines. And C also shoots, by the way. That's how you score a goal. That was a little bit easier than it needed to be. I mean, talk about your shorthanded goals. That was a classic. So we still have the penalty killing line out there. Oh, that was offside. Okay, I was wondering if they were going to call anything or not. Was that really offside, though? I swear that the puck the puck got there before the player. Anyway, whatever. I don't know. You know how it is when you're playing the game, you're trying to talk about it, seeing bad defense on my part, and they're going to get a free shot here. But we have a good keeper. Or a good keeper. I've been playing too much Football Manager. We have a good goalie. So there you go, fighting. If you lose the fight, you take the penalty. The other guy doesn't get it. Oh, no, he does. I was going to say, if it's like that, then it's like Blades of Steel. That's the way that we want it. So we both wind up with penalties in the end. The unfortunate thing is that there are no automatic line changes. That's one of the things that the other games have introduced, so that you don't have to sit there and like figure out how to manage this by yourself. It's not that difficult, of course, but it's kind of a pain. Oh, come on. Anyway, so the first video, as I said, on this channel, which likely will come out on Saturday, assuming that all goes well. Just didn't time that right. The first video is going to be about this game. We'll dig into it. I might play it a couple of times here, not just once. And like I said, I'm likely going to play a couple of the other NES games. I do have some B-roll that I have from other videos for those games, but I would like to play them again, especially like because they're fun. You know, Blades of Steel, for example, is a fun game. Okay, so it's C that has your player advance, and my guys don't know how to. They don't know how to play hockey. Okay, well, whatever. So we're going to play some Blades of Steel. We'll play ice hockey on the NES. At some point in time, we're going to play the Kunio-kun hockey game on the Famicom, which is one of the all-time classics. It's a game that it was going to be released in North America called Crash and the Boys, but they never really had it come out. Now, what would be really cool is if you had more than one player fight at once. Oh well. So it's 3-on-3 hockey right now, right? No, they still have 5-on-5. Okay, so it doesn't really matter in the end. Yeah, that's what I really want to see. I want to see one of those old-fashioned melees, you know, with everybody fighting, with multiple guys getting penalties, and that would be cool. So the story behind this, as you probably already know, is that the NHL was really upset about the fighting in this game, and so they made EA take it out if they wanted to keep the license. And EA decided that they wanted the fighting more than the NHL license, and that's the reason why the sequel is NHL PA Hockey. So it was only the NHL PA that had the license, not the NHL. But I don't think I've actually played that one yet. My understanding, though, is that it doesn't really make a difference one way or another. Boy, that was a cheap shot. It doesn't really make a difference. Like, you wouldn't even notice that the NHL logo or NHL license wasn't there. The reason why you wouldn't notice that it wasn't there is because, just like right now, I mean, can you tell that this is an NHL licensed game? You can just by the Penguins logo there at the center of the ice, but that's all. Anyway, I'm getting the hang of line changes now, at least when there's a stoppage in play. So next time we want a line change, we'll just, you know, ice the puck or something like that. Ah, shoot, get it out. See, what should happen there, since I'm shooting it in behind him, is I should get in a fight right away. That would be more realistic if that's really what they were going for, but whatever. Anyway, we're in control. I probably should have chosen a team that was not like, you know, one of the best teams in the game, if not the best team in the game. I love how they have the animations there for the penalties as well. The referees giving the signals is awesome. I mean, really, really is cool. Anyway, the graphics in this game is they're just absolutely fantastic. This is not long. This is probably a couple of months after EA came out with John Madden Football. This game is a lot better than John Madden Football. This is you know, it's a much faster game, and it's a lot more interesting. You can do a lot more different things. John Madden Football, the original, is nice because you have the ambulance that comes out and runs over half the players when somebody gets injured. But that's really the only advantage that you have in John Madden Football. In terms of like being an actual good sporting game, this is a much better game. And this is a surprisingly realistic version of hockey. I mean, for a game for its time, right? This came out in, again, August 1991. You know, so this is a pretty realistic game, you know, given its age and given when it came out. This is really around the time when sports games started to become started to have a focus sort of on realism and realistic gameplay. Not necessarily realism in the sense of like trying to get, you know, the game statistically right or anything. I think there's a little bit of that, but not really that much. But rather realism in terms of like trying to get the shoot, that was a mistake. Whoops. Realism in terms of trying to get like the physics of the game right, which is what this game does so well. Right. Well, we scored a shorthanded goal. We gave up a shorthanded goal. It's been a really, really odd game, hasn't it? Ah, shoot. Oh, come on. I barely even touched the blue line. Whatever. Little whistle happy, huh? Not tripping, he was falling anyway. Anyway, once we start playing more and more of these games, it's going to become easier to sort of compare them, rate them, and stuff like that. But like I said, I do want to sort of show how much more advanced this game is than all of the hockey games that came before it. And there are no Genesis hockey games that came before it. We'll probably look at Mario Lemieux Hockey eventually, but we're not going to look at that necessarily right away. I think that it's probably a better idea to get through the NHL series first and then maybe go back and look sort of retrospectively at a couple other games. There are a couple of other little games and simulations and things that I know about that we might look at sort of as time goes on. The other thing that we're going to do a lot of talking about is things like hockey cards. So there's a set that I've wanted to talk about now for actually quite some time. The old Upper Deck 1990-91 French set. I have actually the full set. I bought it on eBay before all the tariffs have set in. The thing that's interesting about that set is that it was rumored to be extremely short printed to the point where, like, in 1991, when the second series came out, boxes of it started going for like huge amounts of money. I mean, you talk about like tulips. This was like crazy. Anyway, there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about there, including, you know, a lot of the accusations that came against Upper Deck as time went on. There were accusations, especially that Upper Deck was deliberately overprinting and reprinting cards so that it could sell into the hype that was around surrounding its own cards and stuff like that. So there's a lot of stuff for us to, you know, mention and talk about. It was ridiculous, by the way. We had a guy who was offside who was like being held back there by the North Stars players. There's a lot of crazy stuff that's going on in this game. So anyway, cool stuff. Cool beans. I thought I was going to put it into my own net. See, I'm a little bit too used to playing NHL 94. I keep trying the one-timer. Doesn't work in this game. You can't do it. Anyway, so yeah, we're going to talk about stuff like that. We'll talk about hockey cards. I have a small but growing collection of old hockey games on video, so we'll talk about that. I have some radio stuff, which is also pretty interesting. So we'll look at that when the time comes. What I do not have at the moment is I don't have a subscription to the Hockey News Archives, but at some point in time we'll probably grab that and we'll probably start looking a little bit at hockey-focused journalism and stuff. One of the things I really want to do is I want to start touching on a lot of things that I think a lot of other YouTube channels don't do. That's kind of been my MO for a lot of the content that I've been making on different channels and different places. So in other words, as much fun as it is to play video games, who was offside? Where is he? I don't see anybody. How am I supposed to know that I'm going to be offside? I don't see anyone. Whatever. Anyway, but that's kind of the thing, right? I'm trying to do like a combination of a whole bunch of stuff, combination of history, some talking about like the culture behind the sport, you know, and stuff like that. That's pretty much what to expect. And then a whole bunch of me making sarcastic comments while we play old games like this. But it was all right. Only 8 penalties for us, so we were okay. Over 1 on power plays. We had 7 power plays and we didn't give up a single goal. So I guess that means that we did a pretty good job. And there you go. That is the old NHL Hockey for the Sega Genesis. And anyway, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you didn't enjoy it, it's fine. We'll have more videos coming out pretty soon. Probably play once more with this game. And then, like I said, I'm going to go grab some footage from some old NES games that we'll cover in more detail eventually as time goes on. You kind of have to ease your way into these things. So hope you enjoyed that, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.